think of when I say the word national security? Wars being fought overseas? Fighting terrorism? Peace negotiations? Yep, me too. And a whole host of other issues. But what if I were to tell you that one of the most important national security issues we're going to face is going to happen right here? Yep, right here at home. And each and every one of you can help us win the fight. What is it? The health and nutrition of our kids. When I was a kid, I grew up as part of the working poor. My mom, she was a waitress, and my dad, he was a hotel maintenance worker. And as the youngest of 10, if it weren't for programs like food stamps and the National Free Lunch Program, there would have been many days we would have gone hungry. And if it weren't for the food banks in our community, I'm not sure how holiday dinners would have happened. I never really thought about where my food came from. I was just more concerned when I opened that refrigerator door, there was in fact food inside. Around my dinner table, we didn't talk about healthy food choices. We were just grateful that there was something to eat. And then, 2 months after 9/11, I enlisted in the United States Army. And they told me I was overweight. I'd have to lose it before I could join. I was shocked. Even as a very competitive high school athlete, I wasn't healthy. Last year, the Journal of American Medical Association, they released a report. In that report, it said, amongst the ages of 2 and 19, as well as the overall population of adults, there has been no significant change in obesity rates. As a mom, that statistic worries me. But as a veteran, I am alarmed by the 2012 Mission Readiness Report that showed that 1 in 4 young adults are unfit to serve in today's military. Now, I quickly lost the weight in order to join, but I struggled throughout my military career with my weight. It didn't matter that I could run 2 miles in 14 minutes and 50 seconds, or knock out 43 push-ups in 2 months, or serve on the front lines on the day we invaded Iraq. I was overweight, and I was not the only one. Our military is fat. And I'm pretty sure I've earned the right to say that for better or for worse. The Department of Defense, they just released a report. 51.2% of service members today are classified as overweight based upon their body mass index. And 12.4% of them are classified as obese. As an elite fighting force tasked with some of the most difficult jobs in the world. That statistic is surprising to many. For me, it wasn't until years later, and having 2 kids of my own, did it finally occur to me. It wasn't my level of fitness that was sabotaging my waistline. It was my level of nutrition. When it came to understanding how food was meant to fuel my body, I was ignorant. And for good reason. I had never learned. The education of nutrition has to start when our kids are young. And just as it didn't happen for me, there are kids right here in our own communities that aren't getting this education either. It's why our military is fat. It's why our kids are obese. It's not their level of fitness, but their level of nutrition. And it's up to us to reverse this course right now or place our national security at risk for decades to come. Obese kids lead to obese adults. We've got to start to think about how we can collectively change the way our kids eat. Teach them about food and nutrition, and reverse this course that we're on. So what do? We've got to start in our schools. School lunches. There's been some changes recently due to school lunches with the Healthy Kids Act of 2010. And this act is up for renewal here in 2015. Now, the initial implementation of it was a very slow process, and it didn't do a whole lot to improve our local economies. And even with the changes, I can tell you that our kids are nutritionally still getting the short end of the stick. Now, these school lunches may be easy to prepare, right? Convenient for schools, cost-effective. But as for many kids, just as it was for me, these school lunches are their only consistent source of food in a day. So I say, we've got to go old school on school lunch by focusing our school's purchasing power on community sourcing their food supply, buying fresh, local food from the farm just down the road. We can positively alter our entire nation's future. When I was in the Army, they taught us to lead the way when we believed in something that would benefit the greater good. By simply engaging your local school district with the fresh fruits, purchasing whole grains, dairy, low fat, we really can make a change. And this isn't something that's just supported in practice, but in principle. 72% of parents favor better nutritional standards in school. That's, more fruits and vegetables, lowering the salt intake, and just following age-appropriate calorie guidelines. And I know you're thinking, my school is way too big to tackle such an initiative. We just can't do it. The Los Angeles Unified School District, easily the second largest school district in the nation, they already have a program like this in practice. We spend about $1 per serving on school lunch. That $1 per serving and 55 million American school students, the daily revenue our local communities can reap is a simple calculation. The Centers for Disease Control, they state, among other costly health-related issues, proper nutrition in young Americans not only reduces obesity rates, but cancer, heart disease, osteoporosis, diabetes, and even dental cavities. And it will also provide a long-lasting educational value for our kids. Let's get the farmers into the schools. Teach our kids about how their food is grown. Let's get them excited about a new way to eat their favorite fruit. Or discover what their new favorite vegetable is. My son, Donovan, any one of you ask him, what's your favorite food? He'll say, Brussels sprouts. He's not. This all prepares our kids for a healthier way of life, for the rest of their lives. I love and respect my brothers and sisters in arms. I truly do. If it weren't for my time in the military, I wouldn't be standing before you today. In fact, I'm not sure where I would have ended up. But I do know this. We've got to come together as parents, as educators, as farmers, as business and community leaders, and truly take charge of a healthier way of life for each and every child. And while I know some of you in this room may have different points of view or come from varying political persuasions, I defy you to become disagreeable in regards to our children's health and our nation's security. I don't think there's an issue with more common ground. And it's with that common ground that we, as a nation, will go comprehensively healthier and not fatter for decades. Thank you.